Hello, welcome back to my channel, Checks Capture Threads. Today's video will be going over the Jobava London. So, it's part of the Learn the Openings, and we know this is quite a famous opening nowadays. We see loads of people play it, and it's a very good opening idea, especially for a certain few reasons. So, this was made by someone called Badur Jobava, so Georgian GM, and it was known for his creative and unorthodox play, and this is why in this scenario here, the moves are, this can change around a little bit, but this is the key London squares like these two, but this knight being a little bit different, because normally in the London system, we would realistically want c3 played, and then obviously e3 and all that. This is a completely different approach, and we'll be playing knight c3. Now, there's a load of fun ways to do this. So, what we'll be doing for quick development and flexibility for white at least, will be probably just getting our knights out here, but getting our bishop, as well. Some of these pieces can be difficult to get out for a certain few reasons I'll say later on in the video. But now we also have other stuff like this bishop and this knight going to be used for a very good attack. Now, as I'm going to say, this is a very aggressive opening. So if you want to be aggressive straight away from the start, I would play it immediately. So, what are the typical plans and themes for white? So, we're going to have pressure on c7. Now, this is going to be with stuff like knight b5 and like a f5 liver sort of thing, attacking it like this. Now, we're also going to have quick kingside development and attack. So, what we're going to want is get these pieces out and try and attack these sort of squares immediately. And pawn breaks for e4, like the London system, you want to open up e4 as quickly as you can and try and get that centre opened, and for a bit more tactics. And for black, just got to know, always black in the Jobava will play c5. And realistically, for white, you actually should queenside castle most times. There is actually a good amount of ways you can actually do well by bringing out this attack quite quickly, queenside castling, and then having this whole kingside with these pawns. The only difficult part there is that these pawns are really difficult to stop. You've got to know how to stop them. You can't just let them go up the board, because many a times I've played this especially and lost because of these certain pawns. You just need to make sure after c5, I wouldn't maybe necessarily trade, you can. Just gets the bishop out probably, so it's not the best. And a5 push, you can always play a3, a4, as you've got that defense with the knight. So, that's really it for the plans. Now, what I'll be going through here is some of the moves. Now, knight c6. The main move here, obviously, will be knight b5. And the reason for that is this, obviously. So you're going to have moves like this, where we can just take, and we're pretty much in that fried liver sort of idea. There's also other ideas. Even if they play e6, you still play knight b5. And, I mean, if you really want to go for these aggressive sort of things, this is perfect. And even after this, I believe you actually take with a knight here, and then you get this position, and you get quite the double pawn. It's not the best. Now, my favourite part of this whole Jobava London is when they play the move bishop to f5. If they play bishop to f5, f3. You play f3. And now if they especially say, okay, now I want to get this bishop out, and they play the move e6, this is where we can start our kingside attack with the move g4. They have to move back one, and then h4. This attack is always really good. They probably will play the move h5, where we can even push to g5 here. And now this makes their knight go all the way back to here. And most of the time, we are now in a very good position. So you'd have moves like this. If they play this move as well, once we've done this, we can actually play a few things. We can obviously take in a position like this. But also, if you don't want to take it, knight to h3 is also a very, very good move. As obviously, after we take... Now, we could do the other way of here, but they might not take, and this bishop's stuck. So if you do that, and then they move a pawn or a bishop, something else, you can actually move this as well to d3, which is the better square. But just say this would be absolutely amazing, and we're actually a little bit up in this position. So that's really the one of my favourite positions to get into, but there definitely can be possibilities of other stuff. Now, most of the time that you will be playing this, I feel like there's some scenarios. Obviously, most of the time they will try and play c6. C6, just to try to stop that. If they know this theory, just play e3 and get your development out. Also, I know I'm giving you a few lines now. Find some deep analysis line. I remember I used chess reps as well for a certain amount of time, and that was one of the good ones where I got most of the opening theory out of that, so it's really good. But other than that, I feel like you're going to need to know, if you want to know deep lines into this, then it's going to be really a necessity almost. Now, obviously, with moves like this bishop's really always going to be on d3, kind of like the London system. It always gets planted there anyway. And the knight, realistically, every piece is going to stay there other than these two. Maybe this, depending on where it's going to go. But if we was talking in a full game here, other than that, I would say, maybe most of the time they'll actually try and play something different like this. I don't really have an idea yet of what they want to play. But I'm just going to make a few moves, and I'm going to try and play. If I play the queen side here, this is where we get this whole thing. Now, moving the king's good, but I feel like right now, this separates a lot away from the pieces. And I feel like now there is some sort of, liquidity for them, or something that they can get out of it. Now, this move as well isn't really the best, because this allows this sort of thing, and then they're opened in. So, realistically, it's very difficult to find a good idea here. Most of those did not work. So, maybe you've got to find a move like this even. It might be weird, but, after this check and you go here, can you survive there? Probably not. So, it's difficult queenside castling, but the main reason I'd queenside castle is if they play this bishop move to here. So, if it was this position and we get this whole thing, then they could also play this move. And I think you actually can play this as well. There's a load of lines there. But if we was to play this and we get the bishop out, we do something like this. Now, this is where I feel like it's really good. As look at this attack we have. We're actually 2 points up. And as you can see, all we got to do is we can swap off here and we're now massively winning. And I think there's probably nearly mates on here. So, yeah, we can just play this move. And I think that's just going to win. So, there is loads of, even in this position, they have to play a move like this. And now we can just, open the board up. They might try and stay closed. We can even push here, force that pawn out even more. So, this opening here is, I think, one of, at this point in time, definitely one of the best openings. I would definitely learn it as white if you like d4 and you like tactical games like that. Because I feel like d4 gives you a little bit less of a risk, because obviously this is the only side really the king can get attacked. If you used to push e4, it's opened the king quite a bit here. There is a little bit of room, whereas if you do this, it's only that, and that can easily be blocked off with the bishop. And obviously you could say this is easy blocked there, but it's not a good move. So that is going to be it for today's video. So hopefully you enjoyed that Jobava London. So thank you, and bye bye.